We tested the Elkhound's legendary nose against Surströmming. Hilarious reaction. Welcome, esteemed viewers, to another fascinating exploration of canine psychology and sensory perception. Today, we delve into a rather humorous yet deeply educational experiment involving the majestic Norwegian Elkhound and a notorious Scandinavian delicacy, Surströmming. For those who might be unfamiliar, Surströmming is fermented Baltic Sea herring, famously known for possessing one of the most overwhelmingly pungent odors in the culinary world. Our objective was to observe exactly how a dog breed renowned for its extraordinary olfactory capabilities processes such an extreme and unfamiliar scent. The Norwegian Elkhound was bred for centuries to track massive moose across miles of dense, freezing forests. Their noses are incredibly sensitive instruments, capable of detecting subtle biological markers over vast distances. So, what happens when this highly calibrated biological radar is suddenly confronted with the intense, localized blast of fermented fish? We set up a safe, controlled environment to document the immediate psychological and physical reactions, providing us with a unique window into the canine mind. To truly understand the sheer magnitude of this sensory encounter, we must first examine the biological marvel that is the canine olfactory system. While a human being navigates the world primarily through sight, a dog sees the world through complex layers of scent. Inside the snout of a Norwegian Elkhound, there are hundreds of millions of scent receptors, exponentially more than the mere 5 or 6 million found in a human nose. Furthermore, the area of the canine brain dedicated to analyzing these odors is proportionally much larger than ours. When an Elkhound inhales, the airflow is actually separated into two distinct paths, one for regular breathing and one dedicated entirely to smelling. This means that every single scent molecule of the Surströmming is trapped, analyzed, and categorized with astonishing precision. They do not just register a foul smell, they experience a deeply complex chemical profile. They can detect the salt, the fermentation process, the age of the fish, and the specific bacteria responsible for the transformation, all in one single, overwhelming inhalation. From a psychological standpoint, encountering a scent as aggressive as Surströmming triggers an immediate behavioral conflict within the dog. Naturally, dogs are curious scavengers who are frequently drawn to strong, pungent smells, which is precisely why they often roll in unsavory things during their walks. It acts as an instinctual camouflage technique. However, Surströmming presents a unique paradox. The scent is undeniably food-based, which initially piques their interest, yet the concentration of volatile compounds is so incredibly intense that it borders on an overwhelming sensory assault. During our test, we witnessed a profound psychological tug-of-war. The Elkhound's innate desire to investigate a potential food source was visibly warring against a strong, self-preservational reflex to retreat from something irritating to the nasal passages. This cognitive dissonance creates a fascinating mixture of intense fascination and dramatic aversion, resulting in some truly comical physical expressions as the dog attempts to process this confusing new data without getting too close to the source. As we carefully open the pressurized tin outdoors, releasing the infamous aroma into the crisp air, the reaction was nothing short of cinematic. Our featured Elkhound, positioned several meters away, instantly snapped to attention. His ears swiveled forward, and his nose began to twitch violently, sampling the shifting air currents. Instead of rushing forward blindly as he might for a piece of standard meat, he engaged in a slow, highly cautious approach, keeping his body low to the ground. When he finally reached the proximity of the tin, the comedy truly began. He took one deep sniff, immediately sneezed violently, and executed a theatrical backward leap as if the fish had physically lunged at him. Yet, unable to simply walk away from this enigmatic puzzle, he returned. He engaged in a hilarious routine of hit and run, sniffing, darting in for a quick inhalation, pulling back to make extravagant facial expressions of disgust, wiping his snout with his paws, and then daring himself to try it just one more time. It was a perfect display of curiosity overcoming common sense. Let us take a moment to decode the specific body language exhibited during this highly unusual encounter. When the Elkhound pulled back and curled his upper lip, he was not merely baring his teeth in anger. he was likely attempting a variation of the flame in response. This biological mechanism allows animals to direct specific scents towards the vomeronasal organ, an auxiliary olfactory sense organ located on the roof of the mouth, to gather even more detailed chemical information. Furthermore, the violent sneezing and vigorous snout wiping are classic canine displacement behaviors. When a dog feels overwhelmed, conflicted, or overly stimulated by their environment, they often engage in these exaggerated, seemingly out-of-context actions to release pent-up nervous energy and physically clear the overwhelming stimuli from their nasal passages. It is their way of saying, "This is incredibly intense, and I need a moment to recalibrate my senses." By understanding these subtle cues, we can appreciate the depth of their communication and better support their emotional well-being during stressful events. Integrating this experiment into a broader cultural and evolutionary context makes the findings even more compelling. The Norwegian Elkhound is a proud symbol of Scandinavian heritage, shaped by thousands of years of survival in unforgiving Nordic climates. Their ancestors lived alongside Vikings, guarding settlements and hunting large game. Surströmming, similarly, represents a deeply rooted Swedish preservation tradition born from necessity and harsh winters. Bringing these two historical northern giants face to face serves as a delightful collision of regional history. Evolutionarily speaking, a dog's profound reaction to such heavily fermented items highlights their incredible adaptability. Their ancestors needed to rapidly assess whether rotting carcasses discovered in the wild were safe sources of vital calories or dangerous vectors for illness. The Elkhound's cautious, methodical investigation of the fermented herring demonstrates that this ancient, life-saving risk assessment software is still perfectly active, running quietly beneath the surface of our beloved modern companions. As an empathetic caretaker, you might wonder how to handle situations where your own dog encounters overwhelming sensory stimuli, whether it is a pungent regional delicacy, harsh household chemicals, or unfamiliar perfumes. The most crucial rule is never to force an interaction. Allowing your dog the freedom to approach or retreat at their own comfortable pace is vital for maintaining their trust and preventing unnecessary trauma. If you are conducting a light-hearted scent test for enrichment purposes, ensure the environment is well ventilated and that the dog always has a clear, unobstructed exit route. Watch their body language closely. If you observe excessive lip licking, whale eye, or frantic pacing, the experience has crossed from stimulating to distressing, and you must remove the scent immediately. Your role is to act as a supportive guide, validating their natural curiosity while fiercely protecting their psychological boundaries. By respecting their highly sensitive nature, you strengthen the bond of mutual respect and ensure they feel continuously secure in your presence. In conclusion, our playful experiment with the Norwegian Elkhound and the famously fragrant Surströmming proved to be much more than just a momentary comedic spectacle. It offered a profound, accessible lesson in canine biology, ancestral instincts, and behavioral psychology. We observed firsthand how a world-class olfactory system parses complex, overwhelming information and how an intelligent animal navigates the delicate balance between deep curiosity and sensible caution. As you go forward, we encourage you to view your dog's daily scent-gathering missions with renewed appreciation. Whether they are meticulously sniffing a simple fire hydrant or dramatically reacting to a peculiar smell on the winter wind, they are engaging in a highly sophisticated sensory experience that we humans can scarcely comprehend. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey into the canine mind. We hope it inspires you to observe your faithful companion a little more closely and celebrate the magnificent, intricate ways they interpret the vibrant world around them.